Hello, everybody. It is me, Jerry V, from the Lucero Library. We are here again at the Tales from the Stacks. We have been reading The Spider Stampede by Ali Sparks, illustrated by Ross Collins. We were just into the part where the boys got transformed into spiders. So we will pick it up from there. If you've missed anything else, please don't forget to go check out the past ones with Miss Christie and Miss Jessica reading the past episodes here from the Tales from the Stacks. Without further ado, Tales from the Stacks. A hairy experience. Josh ran across the collapsed body of his brother. He got a hold of Danny's shoulder area, or thorax, if we're being correct. Using his palps, the little arms on either side of his head, and his two front legs, "Danny, wake up!" he shouted in his odd, raspy voice. It was probably pointless, though. Danny would most likely just scream and faint again as soon as he saw his brother, or his own reflection. Not like it or not, believe it or not, they both had turned into spiders. Josh's brain was doing backflips. He was trying to take in this amazing fact in and work out how it had happened. He didn't have much time for pondering. He heard a terrible, low, roaring sound that made the metal under his 8 feet vibrate. A shadow fell across him, and he looked up to see a horrifying sight. Jenny! Screaming, raising her gargantuan right hand, in which was grasped a titanic sandal. Jenny's scream came out incredibly slowly, in a weird, rumbly voice, as if she had had a very sore throat. Ah! Spiders! Her blonde ponytail swung sideways in a huge, slow swoop. Her eyes were large and round and shiny. Her vast, gaping mouth looked like a terrifying, gooey red tunnel. Even though everything she did was in slow motion, the sandal was now halfway to the bathtub valley and headed straight for them. They were about to be pulped. "Danny!" screamed Josh. He pulled his brother towards the drain. At last, Danny's eyes opened. They started to roll up as soon as they had clasped themselves onto Josh. Josh cuffed Danny's mandibles with his spare palps and said, "Cut it out. Don't you dare faint on me. We have to run." Now the sandal was casting a deadly shadow over them. Josh could smell the rubber sole. He and Danny ran for it. They zipped across the huge round black well. Then they teetered out on its metal crossbar just for a second before the sandal smashed down right next to them. A huge gust of rubbery wind knocked them both over. 1 second later, they were falling down the drain. "Ah!" bellowed both spiders. They were plummeting, legs flailing wildly around them, into the dark, dark hole. Who knew where it ended? Wondered Josh, frantically. It smelt like soap and old water. Spinning and tumbling, Josh wondered what it would be like to suffer 8 broken legs, or maybe have one come off altogether. Spiders were always losing legs. That has to hurt. But the next moment, he landed with a thud onto something quite soft and springy. The moment after that, his brother landed on top of him. Where are we? Whispered Danny. Down the drain, said Josh. He shoved one of Danny's legs off his face. Obviously. But where down the drain? Josh looked around. His eyesight was pretty good considering how dark it must be. But of course, most spiders were nocturnal. Out and about hunting by day, Danny had scrambled onto his feet. He was also staring down. Oh, yeah, yuck, he said. You know what this is? What we've landed in? What? Josh looked at the soggy matter beneath them. It looked like rather sticky, oozy pile of tangled cables. It's Jenny's hair. That's what it is. Both boys shuddered. All those times Mom told her not to let big clumps of hair go down the drain after her shower, Danny said. She always said it plugged up the pipes, and now she was right. Ew, yuck. Good thing Jenny didn't pay attention to Mom, said Josh. Her hair gave us something soft to land on. She saved our lives. Danny shuddered and looked at Josh. Am I really a spider? Just like you? Or am I dressed like this? Or am I dreaming this? Yep, you're just like me, said Josh. And I think this is real. Oh, well, Danny, I was hoping this was a dream. How can this be real? How can it? Shh, said Josh. Looking into the dark, there was a gurgle above them. Said Danny. She might have saved our lives, said Josh. Then there was a sploosh. But she's trying to kill us again now, he screamed. She turned on the faucet. Next chapter. A bit drained. The water hit them with a big lump. It knocked them off the shelf of hair and down through the dark pipes, plunging down into a whirling, spinning cascade. Josh felt his legs flapping about in all directions. He prayed that his legs wouldn't snap off. Then there was a brief, bright flash of light. They shot out at the end of the drain pipe and ran along the outside of the house. Then all was dark again as they were carried down into the pipes that led to the sewer. Splat! Danny hit the brick and it lay draped soggily across the edge. Splooge! Josh landed on top of him. They were on the ledge of some kind. Almost above them, the dark round hole from the pipe dumped still more water onto them. But it was now a light shower. Then it dwindled to just a few drops. Jenny must have put the plug in to fill up the bathtub, thought Josh. Groaning, they gradually untangled their limbs. They got up into a sitting position. Below them was a sort of canal running through which water slowly flowed. It smelt a bit raw and eggy to Josh, and not in a good way. It was dark, but a chink of light fed down from the world above them. He knew that the spider sight must mean that they could see much better than when they would have as boys. I don't like this, whimpered Danny. You don't say, muttered Josh. Look, snapped Danny. It's bad enough that we're spiders, without being sarcastic, too. We are spiders, not just me, grouched back Josh. He stepped over a toenail clipping the size of a half of a bike wheel. But how? How can this be happening? Gulped Danny. His 8 eyes were wide and scared. It must have been that yellow stuff, said Josh. It's done something to us. And now we're stuck in the sewer with 6 more legs than we ever wanted, groaned Danny. And I'm scared to death of me. You should be scared of other things, mate, came an unfamiliar voice. Danny and Josh spun around to look. Then all the screaming started again. Towering over them, with glittering black eyes and sharp yellow teeth, was a huge, brown, hairy monster. Well, everybody, sounds like it's getting pretty serious going on this book. So I will leave you guys with a very much appreciated thank you very much for hanging out with me today in the Tales from the Stacks. Next week we'll hopefully have Miss Jessica in here reading you some more chapters from the Spider Stampede by Allie Sparks. And don't forget to check out your local libraries for all of the other cool activities that are happening with summer reading and all of the cool interactive virtual activities. Thanks, stay safe, and peace out.